Moist Critical and Supcaitlin are beefing right now. That's crazy. I watch both of those streamers for wildly different reasons. This Battle of the Titans inspired me to read some boxing manga. I've always liked realistic fighting manga. They aren't ever the most popular form of battle shonen or seinen, but I feel so much more connected to the story when I see characters doing physical feats that are within the realm of believability. Zero is a boxing manga from 1990 that is the epitome of realistic sports manga, authored by the legendary Taiyou Matsumoto very early in his career. Zero tells the story of Goshima Miyavi, a boxer who's held the world championship belt for years. Having a perfect record, he's earned the nickname Zero, as in zero losses. Goshima lives for the ring, only becoming his true self when fighting. His longtime coach, Araki, who also doubles as a father figure, proclaims Goshima to be a flower that blooms only within the ring. Despite all the success that they've had over the past decade, Goshima grows restless. He desires the ultimate challenge, a toy that won't break underneath his monstrous fists. Araki, meanwhile, tries to keep Goshima's bloodlust at bay by selecting cans as opponents for his prized fighter's late career. Goshima holds a perfect record, but he's approaching 30. Even the media and other members at the gym are starting to notice his perceived slip into old age. Zero is a wonderful seinen manga that explores the end stages of a sports dynasty. What happens when you can feel Father Time breathing down your neck? Do you walk away while you're at the top with a spotless record and a series of what ifs? Or do you prolong your career with hand-selected opponents, securing your bag while risking your legacy? Zero was published in Big Comic Spirits from 1990 to 1991. At that time, Matsumoto was a young, down-on-his-luck artist who couldn't get a series off the ground in Kodansha's morning magazine. Serendipity shone on him, however, when an editor from Shogakukan convinced him to come over to Big Comic Spirits and do a boxing manga. This career opportunity turned out to be the turning point for Matsumoto. Though short in length at 2 volumes, Zero has all the hallmarks that this talented mangaka would exhibit later in their career on such series as Sunny or Ping Pong. The art of Zero is standard for 90s seinen, rugged, sometimes incoherent, but distinct, like a coked out Kazuo Koike. At times, it can look very feral and aggressive, especially during matches. The writing is very straightforward and not as surreal as what you'd find in his later works. Zero reads a lot like an editor said to a mangaka, "Hey, we have an opening for a sports manga right now in the mag. We'll give you a paycheck for 6 months if you create exactly what we say." And that's not a discredit to Matsumoto's ability. Throughout Zero, he perfectly illustrates the mounting pressure for athletes as they climb higher and higher to the top, and how it impacts those surrounding them. Takada is a fellow fighter in Goshima's camp. He harshly learns that despite his own prowess and success in the sport, he'll always be the bridesmaid, never the bride. His attempt to leave his mentor's shadow backfires. Travis is a poor Mexican fighter that quickly makes a name for himself and his team, but soon finds himself to be a fish out of water as he's exposed to savagery that outshines his own, inside and out of the ring. It all feels a bit structured. Boxing media is notorious for drama, and Zero has all of that. But I feel that if Matsumoto had free reign, he would have extended this series a bit longer. It would have given him more time to develop his main character, who feels oddly soulless until the last few chapters. Goshima shines as a character when he's tending to his flowers or walking about the city, talking sweetly about experiences in the past very early in his career. Through Miyavi's eyes, he's accomplished everything that he ever wanted in his career. He has the big mansion, he has the accolades, everyone in Japan loves him, most fighters around the world fear him. His final fight against Travis really just seems to be a bow wrapped around nicely on a perfect career. Because of the short length, there is some ambiguity written into the plot. You have to decide for yourself how Goshima's career turned out. we never know if Travis enters his 20s with the same mindset he had while back in Mexico, or if he realizes that there's more to life than boxing. Mike retired after his loss to Miyavi early in the series, but just as Marvel heroes never stay dead, boxers never stay retired. I would have loved if one of Goshima's defeated foes made a return from retirement to challenge Goshima again. Boxing is a sport that translates very well to manga and anime. The obvious comparisons every boxing series has labeled against them is, how does this stack up to Hajime no Ippo, Ashita no Joe, Rikudo? Well, Zero is very different from all of those works. It's a manga that feels very much of its time and is probably better appreciated as a snapshot of what seinen sports manga was like at the turn of that decade, rather than a boxing manga to be compared to those giants. I personally love this series, and as a longtime boxing fan, I thought the topic of aging was fascinating. In the 80s, 30 was seen as old for any professional athlete, but if you look at modern boxing, Wilder, Fury, Joshua, Pacquiao are all fighters who defined their legacies from age 30 onward. Sports medicine has come a very long way. Now, if you may excuse me, I need to kick back with this and watch a Supcaitlin stream. 7 out of 10. The manga, not Caitlin.